You're watching Well Traveled Life with Jonathan and Jennifer, and we're in Maui, Hawaii. Of the 8 major islands in the Hawaiian chain, Maui is closest to the big island of Hawaii, sitting down at the southern end of the archipelago. It is known as the Valley Isle, although it also has one of the highest points on Mount Haleakala. There are 2 cruise ship ports on the island of Maui. One is on the western side in Lahaina, and the other is on the eastern side in Kahului. Kahului is the more industrial port, but both ports have access to everything that you're going to want to see and do on the island. Cruise passengers who are just on the island for a day may have some big choices to make. Maui offers a lot to do and see, and there's not too many ways to do it all in a single day. So pick your activities and plan to return. Whether you're into surfing, hiking, biking, flying, waterfalls, craters, volcanoes, forests, or beaches, Maui has something for everybody. The major attractions on Maui include the mountaintop of Mount Haleakala, the lush area of the Iao Valley, and the uncompromising views and stops along the way of the road to Hana. In this video, we're going to focus on the port of Kahului and our trip to Hana. Immediately at the port, there isn't a whole lot within walking distance, but there are numerous taxis who will be lined up and available to take you where you want to go. There is a shopping center that's just over a mile away. Hana Beach is about 2.5 miles from the port, and Market Street in Wailuku is 2 miles from port. Wailuku is another city, and it's just to the west of Kahului. For those travelers arriving by cruise ship or airplane to Kahului, you're perfectly situated for taking advantage of the road to Hana. Kahului is actually where the Hana Highway begins. Hana Highway is also known as Hawaii Route 36 and 360. It connects Kahului to the town of Hana, which is in East Maui. The road doesn't end in Hana. You can actually follow it past Hana to Haleakala. The road isn't long. It's 64 miles from Kahului to Hana, but you need to expect to take 5 to 6 hours minimum because the road isn't about the twisty turns of going in and around the mountains and the coastline. It really is about the stops along the way. The speed limits are anywhere from 15 to 35 miles an hour, and often are even slower than that, especially if there's traffic along the road. Make sure that as you're planning your route along the road, you recognize that you've got enough funds to be able to stop, or you've got parking areas where you can stop and maybe take a walk to the desired location. In areas where there are actual parking areas, some are paid parking areas and others are free but require that you have a reservation. Much of the road to Hana is a single lane, which means that cars must look out for each other and yield before, during, and after some pretty tough corners where you may not know about oncoming traffic. Many of the bridges are single lane and again would require you to yield access to oncoming vehicles. If you're self-driving the road to Hana, make sure you get a map that lists all of the different stops and locations along the way. They're not always clearly marked, and you may not know when they're coming up or what you're pulling out for. A map will give you those stops, and a little research will give you an idea of which ones require how much hiking, what you can see from the road, and what you'll need to get out and spend some time or energy getting to. Cell phone service may be really limited along the road, so it's probably best to use an offline map app, and a good one for that is maps.me. Along the road to Hana, you're going to find waterfalls, black sand beaches, lava rocks with blowholes, rugged coastline, botanic gardens, and lush valleys. It's all here, and it's everything you want to see. So take your time and make your stops, but be very careful to follow the rules of the road. It might even be a great idea to get a driver so that you are able to take advantage of the views and the vistas and not worry about some of the complicated driving situations. Some stops will have restrooms and some won't. Some will be outhouses and some will be really nice facilities. Take advantage of the good facilities when you've got them. Hana, the stop with the black rocks and the incredible wave action, is one of those stops with great restrooms. There are a number of pull-out places where cars can get off of the road and make a stop, but make sure that your car is completely off of the roadside so that, one, you don't risk being towed, but more importantly, so that you aren't a safety hazard to yourself or to others. Getting a driver or a guide can be as simple as pre-arranging a tour or going ahead and just waiting till you get into port. Once in port, there is a taxi stand right by the cruise port, and they will arrange for a driver for you there. You can expect to pay by the hour as opposed to by the trip, and you'll want to keep in mind that this again is a 4 to 6 hour trip minimum. You've got some ability to negotiate, but you'll want to expect to pay between $50 to $100 an hour. The longer the trip, the better the deal you'll probably get. Some sites require reservations for parking or entrance. That's especially true for the black sand beaches. If you don't have a reservation, you're likely to be denied access, as they only allow a few visitors in each day. And in that case, you can see the beaches from above, but you won't be able to go down onto the beaches. You can do the road to Hana with nothing more than flip-flops and a camera, but if you're taking the time, go ahead and make it a full experience. Bring a swimsuit, bring some good walking shoes, and take some of the hikes, see the waterfalls, take a swim, get down to the beaches, watch the surfers, do all the things that Hana has to offer you. Hana Town itself as a destination may not offer you all that much. It really is the journey to Hana that you're going for. In Hana, there's one hotel and a restaurant. There's a food truck park and a general store, but not much else. The road back tends to go quicker just because you're not making all of the stops. Plan for safety, but it will go a bit quicker. You'll want to take advantage of the fruit stands, food trucks, and the small restaurants on the side of the road. Another thing to keep in mind, and another good reason to maybe think about having a local along with you, is to consider the weather. It's often very nice down in Kahului, and then as you get up into the mountains, it gets a little more lush, a little more verdant, and a bit more rainy. There are problems with landslides and rock slides when there's an extreme amount of rain and flooding along the road, so it's worth having somebody who knows when to stop and knows when to be safe. Another issue is the road to Hana is not a nighttime activity. You want to do that during the day, and you want to make sure you're back down in Kahului, or if you're going all the way around to Haleakala or Lahaina, that you are finished with the road before nightfall. There are a couple of ways to avoid traffic on the road to Hana. You may want to actually get up really early and drive to Hana directly, and then come back and do all of your stops on the way back, which will keep you from the traffic that's starting on the way in. Another way to do it is to start near Haleakala and do the trail backwards that direction. If you're prone to motion sickness, a van tour may not be the way to go. The last thing you want is to be stuck in the back of a van with no open windows and the inability to get out quickly. Kapu means keep out. If you see signage on fences or in driveways, make sure you honor those wishes and stay off of that property. Because locals use this road as their regular form of transportation, make sure that you're pulling out frequently. Often locals aren't trying to go as slow as you are. They don't need to take pictures, they're just trying to get someplace. So use the pullouts that are along the roads. Even if you aren't stopping for a picture, just stop to allow people behind you to get past. We had a great day with our driver, Reynaldo. What started out as a 3-hour tour turned into a 5.5-hour journey, and we're so grateful for his guidance, his safe driving, and all of the good things he showed us along the way. You might also enjoy one of our other videos in our Hawaiian Islands series, including Kona, Hilo, or Honolulu.